Okay. I believe we're live. Let me check my live stream and make sure of that. Whoop. There we go. Live. Man, this seems very elevated for some reason. Let me think maybe I'm a bit far back from what I normally am. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know that I can. Oh. Let's try that. I think that's all the earthquake I'm going to give y'all anyway. Whether it's good enough or not. Scott, welcome. Piper on the 45. Fred B. Let me see if I can somehow arrange a way to load my pipe. I wanted to get started right at 5 o'clock this evening, and I still haven't landed on, am I going to do this at 5 o'clock my time or 5:30? Dinner time varies quite a bit at Gray Manor, so hard to say. Oh, I'm going to get froth in my beard, in my mustachio. All right, what am I going to smoke tonight? Let's see. Happy Veterans Day, Portsmouth Piper. Definitely, all the vets out there, thank you so much for your service. Not just today, but all days. Scott, I haven't tried, well, Rattray's plum. Are you talking about Rattray's? I'm not familiar with Rattray's plum. Plum cake, plum pudding. Does Rattray's make a plum cake? Pretty sure McBaron's makes plum cake. What's up? What's up? Oh no, cold and wet, huh? Scott, good evening. Impulse Plays, Pipes and Tobacco. Signalman Tony. We got 20 in the house already. Let's see, what do I want to smoke? I think maybe I'll smoke the 644 again. Yeah, I think I'm going to load this up. My Savinelli 644. Let me grab a flake plum. Interesting. All right. And what do I want to smoke? You know what? I think I'm going to go back to this double press. No, I'm not. That takes too long to prepare, to be honest. And I'm already behind the 8-ball. But I have been smoking this John Cotton's double pressed Kentucky. I'm sure I'd like to make a video of it, so I don't want to ruin everything. But man, that 10 note is nice. So I will continue to, it is recommended, I'll already tell you that, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much as far as my thoughts. Well, here we are at Haunted Bookshop. So I think I'll load up some Haunted Bookshop. Yeah, that Cornell and Deal Golden Days of Yore really is nice. I was smoking that earlier today, Scott. Definitely has the holiday spices going. but not so much that it's, you know, cloying. Oh, I hear one of my children screaming. Hope there's no gunshots in the near future. Oh, maybe those are kids outside. Maybe it's not my kids. That would be a nice change of pace. $27 in the house. So, what's on everybody's mind tonight? What's everybody smoking? First up. So I got some Haunted Bookshop in one of my trusty dusty Savinelli Series 3s. Hello, Pipe Grump. Let's see, what do we want to light with? Scott, I do sell the 9mm inserts. The 9mm inserts, adapters for 9mm Savinelli pipes, basically allow you to put 6mm filters in place. So if you really want to go down to like a non-filtered draw, you have to get a 9mm and a 6mm adapter, and they fit in each other one way. You have to make sure you fit them in. They're kind of tapered, but then you'll be down to a more standard draw. Rhinopocalypse. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to say that well, but welcome. Yore is a Mississippi River Special Reserve. I haven't cracked my 10 yet of the Special Reserve I bought. Capstan Blue, that's nice. Gall with Perfection. That's one I haven't tried. Well, of course, I just tried my first Gall with blend with this Navy Flake here. And it's good, but I wouldn't say one of my favorites. It's a bit hard to keep lit, as I think most people would tell you. The Gall with blends come a bit on the wet side. And I've let it air out a pretty good bit, but it's still a bit tricky to completely rub out like I like to do, and keep it lit. Scott, if you have a Series 3 that's designated as a 9mm pipe, then yes, those 9mm inserts will fit if you want to go that route. There we go. Now we're lit up. So we didn't go do any memorial looking today or anything like that. We stayed pretty much close to home. I hope some of y'all went out and visited with a vet in your life, or at least talked to one on the phone. Possibly visited a memorial, even though it's not Memorial Day, you know. Along those, you know, those are part and parcel. Everybody that puts their puts on that uniform, they know there's a chance that they might be reflected upon on Memorial Day instead of Veterans Day. And I never served in one of the branches of the military. I don't know that I had the stuff for it, to be honest with you. But utmost respect for those who have and do. Ocean Waves Piper, I've got some. Do I have the full Virginia? I don't recall. I have a Virginia flake, aside from this Navy flake from Galwith. Maybe it was Best Brown, but I haven't opened it up yet. What's up? I'm going to agree with you there. Rat Race pipes are underrated. Cliff Higgins in the house. What's up, Cliff? So Veterans Day here is Remembrance Day in Canada. Interesting. Same kind of thing as Memorial Day? Stratman, I wish I could help with that Washington State business. So, did anybody attend the virtual pipe club meeting earlier this afternoon? Or was there one? Maybe they skipped a week. I couldn't make it if there was one. I've been a busy boy today. Cliff Higgins, smoking the fool out of his Series 3626. I'll have to look up Cane Rod's oxidation cleaning technique. I'm not familiar. There's so many great videos out there these days for all kinds of topics. It's amazing. And yeah, there was a lot out there when I got started in the YTPC. Don't get me wrong, but there just seems to be so much more now. Of course, as time marches on, more and more videos get released. Meaning more good videos get released and not just people like me that get on here and talk about nothing. Eddie Gray, the Seinfeld of the YTPC. Razor blade, huh? Meat pie. Meat pie from Drew Estate. Stanley. Beginner tins of tobacco. 21-year-old in college, so my budget's tight, and I'm no stranger to quality. Ethan, as per usual, I'm going to recommend Old Dark Fired if you haven't tried it yet, from McBaron, being my personal favorite. But it really depends on what your tastes are. because there's such a variety in pipe tobacco. If you want to send me an email on my website, I can send you my template of tobacco recommendations, and that goes for all you guys out there. If you haven't seen that before, I can send it to you. Oh, tooth extraction, good grief. Rhine apocalypse. I did it. There's another 21-year-old saying Old Dark Fired is great. I think I only got 110 of Drew Estate's meat pie myself, but I've got a stack of Gatsby Luxury Flake. Couple of stacks. I've got a box of Gatsby's Luxury Flake. I really liked it, and I hated that it was going away, and I caught it on super sale when the tins were getting blown out. So I bought as many as I could at the time. Not that it's the best tobacco, you know, the be-all, end-all of tobaccos, but I thought it was fairly unique as far as a Virginia Perique. It had a little bit of some kind of top note on it that I really liked. Well, there's a bunch of votes from Old Dark Fire, or for Old Dark Fired. Ethan? Well, what do we got to talk about? I don't want to talk politics. That's the elephant in the room I want to steer clear of. You guys can do that in the chat if you like. I'm not going to take part. Not that I'm mad. Not that I'm afraid I'll gloat. I'm just kind of indifferent. And I don't want my bad attitude about politics to rub off. Yardism, I'm not sure what the hurricane's doing. I didn't even know it was a hurricane. I thought it was still a tropical storm. I am not keeping track of it that well because my point of view is don't worry about it till it's worth worrying about. There's been so many storms, I guess I've been desensitized this year. You can't get up in arms about everyone. But yeah, I haven't heard. I may sound like an idiot here. There may be breaking news that says, get out while you still can. But I haven't heard that yet. Typically, like, you know, the big news, that kind of thing breaks, and like, you do what you need to do. And until then, I try not to sweat it. Appreciate that, Tom Sawyer Piper. Glad you stopped in, if only for a bit. This haunted bookshop kind of tastes a little cinnamony tonight. Maybe because I smoked some Golden Days of Yore in it previously. Just a bit. Stratman, I don't have anything super crazy old in my cellar. I know I've got some stuff from 2013, Actually, I've got some Christmas cheer from 2010. So 10-year aged. But I don't have anything 30 years old or anything like that. I've got some Captain Earl's that was gifted to me. That's probably about 12 years old. It's probably from '08. That's most likely the oldest stuff I've got. And I would turn around and try to find it. It's underneath the pipe cabinet here, but I know I'd rip this microphone off. I'm on a short tether tonight. Yeah, we're just hanging out, Desert Pine Piper. Hmm. So Scott, do they sell Cornell and Deal in Canada anywhere? Like Cornell and Deal as a brand? Is it just Haunted Bookshop you have trouble finding, or is it anything from Cornell and Deal? Stanley Hanna, I'm glad you caught that tribute to matches that we did on Halloween. And it got you to go back to some of those old videos. Those are... John's channel is just a wealth of stories and knowledge and just excellent videos. If money was no option, what would be your dream pipe that I don't currently own? I mean, just to have, I would like to have a Sixton Iverson pipe. If money were no object. But I kind of doubt he made any 9mm filtered pipes. You guys let me know if you know any different from that. So I'm just so bent on 9mm filtered pipes these days that I always take that into consideration. There are plenty of gorgeous examples of pipes out there that I would love to have on the shelf, but if you're not going to smoke it, it's definitely, I just don't buy any more unfiltered pipes these days for my personal collection. Scott, that's funny. I think the Haunted Bookshop is best when you first light it through to the middle of the bowl. And you like it when it gathers that strength, huh? That second half of the bowl for me is tough to get through sometimes. My head will get to spinning because it does gather strength. Jeff, I have not smoked the Bing's favorite. A Bing's favorite. I tend to like pipes that are a bit shorter for myself. Yeah, I watched the Bacon Old Fashioned tobacco review on Match's channel a couple of days ago. I couldn't tell if he was like putting that on, like hamming it up a little bit, or if that was truly, truly his reaction. It just looked like he was trying to smoke, like tire shavings. Cliff, which mic are you talking about? Cane Rod or Briar Blues? Or another mic? There is another. Grimble, Dr. Grabow pipes, that was my first pipe, was a Dr. Grabow. Um, I mean, yeah, they're just cheaper pipes. I don't think anybody, well, one thing I always say is everything is somebody's favorite something, you know. Sleazebees is somebody's favorite band out there. Sleazebees is somebody's favorite band in the whole world. So never say never. I'm sure Dr. Grabow has its fans, but I think there are much better pipes out there. They're just kind of, once upon a time at least, they were easy to find around town. These days, when you have to hit the internet to pretty much find anything, I'd say there's a better pipe to be had for, $20 more. 10 to 20 bucks more. I think Grabows go for about 35, 40 bucks these days. Yeah, Yardism, you're right. They're not terrible pipes. Um, I would put them on level with well, I mean, of course they're on level with things like K Woody and Medico, which I think those companies still make pipes, but they're good for what they are. But at that price point, 35 bucks, I'd rather buy either a nice corncob pipe like a Country Gent, which is much cheaper than 35, or go for something like what they call the Dr. Grabow of Europe, which is Mr. Brog. And Mr. Brog pipes, many of those are 9mm filtered. I know they're not briar pipes, but I've got some Brog pipes that are pear wood that have held up really well after several smokes. Grimble, Dr. Grabow's, that's what my great-grandfather smoked. And again, that was my first pipe, and it's a very sentimental pipe to me. I still have it up in the cabinet here. WKR Piper, welcome. Odiodo. When are you re-upping the Series 3s? I've got a shipment that should be coming in here and on the site in the next couple of weeks, I believe. Hopefully there's going to be 626s in it. We'll see. I never know till I get them and get through the boxes. Richard, I've mentioned the old Joe Krantz versus Haunted Bookshop in the past, but my opinion's kind of changed on that recently. I used to think old Joe Krantz was a better blend to my taste. But the Haunted Bookshop has really gained some ground after I smoked through an 8-ounce tin of it. Found a newfound appreciation for it as a nice, solid go-to, not a nondescript blend, but one you don't have to think about too much. You know what to expect out of it. I mean, in that way, it's like a high-quality codger blend. The old Joe has more Perique and has a different cut, kind of a rougher cut than the Haunted Bookshop. And even though I do like the Perique, I don't know, I go back and forth as to which one of those two are my favorite. Of those two. Dark Fired, of course, being my favorite. I'm kind of afraid to smoke too much Old Dark Fired because I don't want it to wear on me because I like it too much. Which is funny because Match has mentioned that in his Dark Fired review. But I kind of feel the same way. Even though I think it is my favorite tobacco, I really don't want it to. It's like you can't eat pizza every night, or at least most of us can't. But I love pizza. Oh, I'm missing stuff here. Always buy the best pipe you can afford. If you're already into pipe smoking, then yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, I am about to hit 8,000 subs already. That is crazy. I have a buddy who has a guitar playing YouTube channel. And he's gone from, gosh, 8,000 subs to 12,000 subs pretty quickly. I believe he's at he's at least 10,000, but he made that jump really fast. So here's hoping we pick up momentum. I'm not overly concerned about the numbers game for subs, but that's easy for me to say since I'm closing in on 8,000. I understand that. But it's been a long climb to get to 8,000. A week late. Barton. Do you have the tracking number for it? If not, I can get that for you. Well, if you ordered it from me. Did you order it from me? Yeah, my Series 3 stems, Cliff, are getting a little oxidized. It's time to do a little cleaning. which is something I've never really had to do. Honestly, my preference is acrylic stems because you don't have to worry about that oxidation for the most part, but the Series 3s don't come with anything but vulcanite or ebonite stems. One noggin, I don't know how interesting a one-sided conversation is. Like listening to somebody talk on the telephone, you can't hear what the other person's saying. But I'll do my best. A lot of love for the 626 lately. Trying to think if I even have a 626. I think, yeah, I do in the Series 3. I don't grab it as much as this one. This is kind of like my 626. A little bit of a heftier bowl, a little bit shorter of a stem. But then again, that makes sense since the 320 is my favorite pipe shape, or at least one of my favorite pipe shapes. I keep making that mistake now that now that I'm on record as saying the Beltane's Fire is my favorite pipe. That probably is my favorite pipe shape there, whatever you would call that. This thing here, bent Rhodesian by way of bent ball. It's a very rotund bowl, or rounded bowl, I should say. But I've smoked the mess out of that for the past 6 months. Goodness gracious. Missing stuff again. Cobs are my go-to. They seem to smoke cooler than any of my briars. Probably. Do you, Scott, do you have any unfinished briars though? I would definitely say that a cob would smoke cooler than a finished briar. But then again, it depends on how it's finished. Stanley, in my latter 50s and found an estate pipe on a table. 25 cents. I have yet to still try a Vallon pipe. I need to. WKR Piper, when a new blend comes out, how much notice do you get before it comes out, or you decide to carry it? It depends on the company. Some companies are really good about giving you at least a month's notice. Other companies just kind of shadow drop blends, and I find out when everybody else finds out. And at that point, it's like I'm going to be way behind the game if I order some to sample, you know, decide that I want to carry it and then start carrying it, I'll be 2 to 3 weeks behind everybody else. But yeah, it's the way it is. Aside from the limited editions or the limited batch, you know, the small batch stuff, I'm not really going out of my way to find new blends. I say that even though all of these 10s behind me are like new to me blends that I need to try, but sometimes you just get too curious for your own good. Smooth Piper, Peter, welcome. Cliff, I'll definitely have to check that out then, about the cane rods process. I did buy some stem cleaner from Briarworks, not Briarworks, Briarville. So I need to try that too. I think I might carry that. Some of Briarville's stem cleaner, and I think he has a pipe sweetener. Peter, this is a 644 shape. Bent diplomat with a saddle stem. I don't know what it is with this chat just going nuts on me. Yeah, Cliff, naked cobs do smoke really cool. I don't carry a whole lot of unfinished cobs, but I do carry the Missouri Pride, which for me, I think the Missouri Pride is the cheapest, best smoking pipe, if that makes any sense. Best smoking cob pipe because it's unfinished. I know Scott at Rustica carries a lot more unfinished cobs than I do. It's more of a, you know, you have to special order those, and maybe in the future I'll get more into that. Of course, I have things like the Tom Sawyers and the Huck Finns and the Eaton pipes. Big Black, what is the most Perique heavy blend? I knew Cliff was going to say Shanae's Cake. It's not Shanae's Cake. Sinead's cake to me is the most enjoyable heavy, like the heaviest enjoyable Perique blend. But there is a heavier Perique blend, and that would be Cornell and Deal's exclusive, which has even more Perique than Sinead's cake. Too much for me. You talk about a musty, musty blend. I used to carry it. I don't carry it anymore. Although, if you're interested, I can special order it. I do special orders, you guys, for the brand, within the brands that I carry. So if there's a Savinelli pipe that you want that I don't carry because it's pricier, let me know. I can special order it for you. If I remember, Frogmorton on the Bayou is fairly tame as far as a Perique blend goes. Smooth Piper, I have Golden Days of Yore, unless I've already sold out of it. I had about a dozen tins earlier today still. I had 72 tins, and well, actually, I had another dozen tins before that, so I've had a total of 84. I'll try to reorder, but if you want some Golden Days of Yore, you might want to do it today, if you want it from me. That's it as far as the Christmas blends. I had about a dozen tins of corncob pipe and a button nose left over from last year that I took down and then reposted this Christmas, or this, couple of weeks ago. And they sold out super fast. I didn't, put it in a newsletter or anything like that because I knew I didn't have much of it. But it sold fast regardless. Clarence, sorry to hear about your arm, buddy. Praying for you right now, man. I'm gonna do two things at once. What filters do you prefer for the Savinelli? And why 9mm over 6mm? Just less constrictive when you're talking about charcoal pipes. For the balsa pipes, they're about the same, really, to my mind, but 9mm charcoal filters are less constrictive than 6mm filters, just because there's more space there. Oh, where'd it go? Um, as far as brands, I mean, I prefer any pipe filters that have uh, what do you call that? Not acrylic ends, but ceramic ends on both sides, so I don't have to think about it very much. But because, you know, some have ceramic on one end and plastic on the other, and you have to make sure the ceramic goes first towards the bowl. But as far as brands, I mean, I carry Stanwell. I'll soon be carrying White Elephant and Peterson. I would also recommend Big Ben and Vowan. I think the Vowans are ones that have plastic on one end there. I've used Mr. Brogg branded 9mm filters. They were fine. Scott, you can order replacement stems for like $1. Save $6 instead of replacing the whole cob. Ugh, possums. Ugh. Cliff, I try not to preach about filters so much, but when I get the question, I gotta answer. I gotta answer. Rossi, to my knowledge, does not make a 9mm pipe. But the Savinelli Series 3s are Rossi prices for a Savinelli, unfinished. A no frills pipe really, but very nice smokers. Desert Pine, this that I've got in front of me is a poker table. I've had it for probably 10 years now. It's a bit ragged at this point, but still does the job. I used to host poker nights. I've only hosted 2 at the new house, and I've been here for 7 years. But a lot of my poker buddies moved out of town, and most of them are cigar smokers. So I had an outside building, like I would call it a shed, but I mean, it was a decent building in my backyard at the old house. I don't have that here, and my wife was not happy with people smoking cigars in the garage. So I haven't hosted any poker nights recently. Dude reviews, I think I have one Meerschaum pipe on the site right now. It's a Rattray's straight billiard, if I recall. Could be an apple. I only had 3 of those. I sold 2 within like a couple of months' time. I may carry more, but what I don't want is to order like a dozen meerschaums that takes me, you know, more than a year to get through them, so I can reorder. Still a very small operation. Grimble, I don't think anybody will let you smoke, like test smoke a pipe. And places used to offer free samples of tobacco, however, but the FDA doesn't allow that anymore. So you're pretty much relegated to buying it, you know, at least an ounce of something. Good grief, my stuff just jumped up again. All my comments. Now I got a ton to read. One noggin, do not name that pipe shop. You don't want to get them in trouble. White Elephant sells 6mm charcoal filters. Those are the ones I would suggest. All briared up. I finally see you're in here. That's probably from 5 minutes ago. Richard Bold Kentucky is made by McBaron's. So McBaron's is the brand. Grimble, you would just need to measure the diameter of the filter itself. Hopefully the pipe came with the filter to see if it's a 6 or a 9mm. Zach, my favorite pipe lighters are Perique lighters. I've had cheaper lighters, from $50 down to $12. I mean, Bics are fine, just a cheap Bic, but if you want a nice luxury lighter, Perique's the way to go. They have a fantastic, I think, a 2-year warranty. I always prefer butane over like lighter fluid. I just don't like the smell of lighter fluid. Guys, I think I'm about to wrap up because my head is spinning with this haunted bookshop. I don't think I'm going to try to relight it. I'm pretty much through this bowl. Ken Silver, do I have any more haunted bookshop? You mean for sale? If so, then yes, I do. I believe I've got it in the 2 ounce and 8 ounce tins. I don't carry many 8 ounce tins, but my top sellers are Haunted Bookshop, Autumn Evening, and the Virginia Cream by GLPs. I carry 8 ounce tins of those three at the moment. Mr. Scripto. WKR Piper, I've lost as much as I've won at this table. Probably break even. But we didn't do, we did $5 buy-in games back in the day with 2 rebuys. So nobody lost any more than $15. Except for one Christmas, we had a special $50 buy-in. And your boy won that one. Not as many people showed up for that one, but I won about $200, I guess, that night. I think we had 5 players. And it wasn't as enjoyable as the $5 games. People took it much more seriously, and it just wasn't as fun of a night overall. So we dialed it back after that. Yeah, you guys, I'm sorry about the delay. I'm just trying not to miss anybody's comments. I am a slow reader, Cliff. Thanks. Thanks for bringing that up. You know, what's funny is I used to read a lot. I was an English major. I was never a fast reader. I'm the kind of guy that'll read a paragraph and be like, what did I just read? And I have to go back and read the whole paragraph again. I just kind of phase out. And just this week, I'm trying to get back into reading. And since it's been a couple of years, really, since I've read much of anything, I'm trying to read some bubblegum type stuff. You guys remember the old digest-sized anthologies like Asimov's science fiction and Ellery Queen mystery magazine and things like that? I'm getting back into reading with those type things. Then I'll get back into, I used to read Charles Dickens for fun, but it's been several years since I've read a Dickens book. Yeah, nobody knows what's up with my chat, and I can't find a setting or anything. Like, I'll get no action and then 10 comments all of a sudden. Grandpa Bones in the house. Welcome. From 5 minutes ago. The Simplex. Gosh, I've got so many people in here. Maybe I should load up another bowl. I just don't know if I've got it in me right now. Oh, let's see. I just had another skip. Another bunch of stuff come in. I was almost caught up. Goose, I have no idea why Savinelli. I mean, 9mm pipes in general just don't perform well as far as sales here in the U.S. But I think in recent, like the last year or two, they're gaining some ground. So we might see some more. I think the Sienna series from Savinelli is kind of a test, you know, of wouldn't 9mm pipes work in the States. Same thing with Peterson's Dublin Filter series. So you guys, if you want to see more, you might want to pick up one or two of those. Oh, this chat. I like the 320 better than the 673 mat, but that's just me. I like that larger bowl. Run around the house 5 times. You'd have to wait a long time for me to recover from that. I'm not exactly a runner. Crime and Punishment for at least the 6th time. Good grief. Who wrote that? Crime and Punishment. Was it Dostoevsky? If so, was it Dostoevsky? I've only read one Dostoevsky book myself. It wasn't Crime and Punishment. It was The Idiot. I hate starting a book and not finishing that book. And what kind of derailed me was about a year or so ago. I started reading a book I just did not like, but I'm too obstinate to set it down. Jelton, welcome, sir. I'm not the guy who loves 80s hair metal. There's a couple more of us. Austin, the 601 by Savinelli, I just kind of see it as kind of a chimney version of the 626. Just a taller version of that. Hello, Bonsai Piper. You guys, I don't know if I should load up another pipe. What do I have that's kind of light? Dostoevsky, yeah. Sleazebees. You know what? I used to make fun of sleazebees all the time, just from their one or two MTV videos, but I went back a while back and listened to their albums, and they're not bad. For that genre, they are not bad. Rustica. Boris, I'll tell you that John Cotton's Kentucky, the double press Kentucky, taste-wise reminds me of Rustica, but nicotine-wise is closer to Bold Kentucky from McBaron's. So that's a good middle ground, I think, the double pressed. Yeah, it's kind of scary to smoke it though, because it tastes so much to me like the Rustica. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to be getting the cold sweats soon? But it seems to be much less as far as nicotine, which would make sense because it's, you know, that Rustica Tobacconum has much more nicotine than standard pipe tobacco does. I know the name Shotgun Messiah, but I haven't ever listened to their music. You guess. You guess. I might light up another bowl, but I'm definitely not going to smoke another bowl on camera. Yeah, Irish Flake, Cliff, is another one to be careful of. I just ate dinner too, you guys, but that haunted bookshop sometimes sneaks up on me. Let's see. Oh. You know what? I'm going to do what everybody says don't do, and I'm just going to reload this pipe. I do this all the time. Don't tell anybody. All right, we're loading up another pipe, you guys. So, guys, if there are any Tom Petty fans out there, the new multi-disc Wildflowers is out, and it is fantastic. I've got the one that's 4 discs. It's the original album, and then it's the tracks on disc 2 were what was going to make up the double album that he got talked out of releasing because the label thought it would do better as a single album, a single disc. All great songs. Some of them I like better than some of the songs that made the final album. Then the 3rd disc is demos, like home demos that Tom Petty made of some of the songs. And the 4th disc is live versions from different time periods. of those songs. Fantastic. And there's another collection called Tom Petty and American Treasure. I thought it was just another best of collection, but there's all kinds of stuff on that. There's live versions of songs, there's alternate versions of songs, and there's about 5 or 6 that I had never heard before that were outtakes from various time periods. So I had just discounted that and American Treasure as another best of, so I didn't look into it. It's it's something different and it's very special. I've been listening to that this week. For the Tom Petty fan, no collection. No collection is complete without it. All right, let me scroll back up. Let me get another filter. Stanley, I am drinking Bell's Two-Hearted Ale. 7% IPA. It's right at the sweet spot for me. It's one of the best IPAs, I think, on the mass market. I guess you could call it a mass market. I think you can pretty much find them anywhere now. Oh. Um, I've never personally, I've tried to get into Rush. Just not really for me. The music's cool. Some of the music's cool. I mean, 2112 is a great album musically. Just never got into that dude's voice all that much. Dokken, Desert Pine. I'm always in the mood for Dokken. WKR Piper, I'm sure the feeling's mutual. I'd love for us to have a YTPC in-person get-together like we used to do in Nashville a few years back. Maybe 2021. What is the most memorable concert you've attended? The one that comes to mind is a band called Sunvolt. Sunvolt was a band that got started in the mid-90s. The singer is Jay Farrar. He came from an older band called Uncle Tupelo. And just, I caught them touring in, I think, 98 for their third album. And I've never seen a band that was more lockstep, just in sync with one another. It was like they were toying with one another to get out of step. Hard to explain, but they were just on the top of their game that night. And they played in a small venue. There were maybe 200 people packing in this, shotgun style rectangular room, the bar in the back and the stage in the front. And this place was in downtown Pensacola called Sluggo's. It was a second story. The bottom story was like tables and stuff and another bar. But upstairs you get people jumping around. You could feel like the floor give a little bit. But the acoustics in that room were fantastic. I don't know if I'm going to get around to loading up this freaking pipe. Yeah, maybe I'll do the Golden Days of Yore. I'm loading. I'm loading. Cascadian Piper. Other concerts that were super memorable. I haven't been to a ton of concerts, but I've been to my share. I missed out on a lot of concerts for when I was a kid because my parents were not down for me going to a lot of metal shows, which is what I wanted to do in my teenage years. I did get to see Tom Petty one time in Nashville. That was a very memorable. Of course, he was probably 55 or so at that point in time. It was about 12 years ago, I think. All right, here we go. Load it up. I saw Megadeth live in Orlando. That was a good show. That was about 5 years ago. And there are two bands that I've seen multiple times that you guys probably, most of you haven't heard of. One is a band called Nightwish, and one is a band called Delane, kind of symphonic metal. Nightwish is from Finland, I believe, and Delane is from Denmark, I think. Wonderful shows. I've seen them both probably 3 times. Sorry guys, I don't know if that's on YouTube's side or on my side as far as the buffering goes. Still buffering? Oh no. Kiss is a band I've never seen. That was the tube they went out. Interesting. And then there's another band I've seen 3 or 4 times called Lucero. That is Lucero. Their singer-songwriter has this whiskey-drenched, gravelly, raspy voice. I've never heard a voice like it. And it's gotten worse, I would say, over time, but they're a fun band to see live. And they're kind of like cowboy punk. A little bit of country, a little bit of rock, a little bit of punk and folk, all thrown together. Floor Jansen sings the old songs so well. If you haven't seen their concert from like 2013, they released it on DVD and Blu-ray. It was called Showtime Storytime. It's also available on CD. Fantastic show at Wacken Open Air, 2013, I do believe. Fantastic show. And she was new to the band and still super excited, you know. And the band was getting into having a singer that they could interact with better. Tensions had gotten so bad with Tarja and the rest of the band. Let's see. Chad, you mentioned the Black Crowes. I may be able to snag a Zoom conversation with the producer of the first Black Crowes album here in the near future. We'll see. I'm trying. But he's a pipe smoker. Doing good, Michael. Yep, Dracolius. I saw his name on several of my favorite albums down through the years. Well, not like 20 or anything, but he produced a Tom Petty album. He produced a couple of Jayhawks albums. He produced the first Black Crowes album. And then I saw his name on a pipe order a couple of years back, and I just had to check, and yeah, it was him. I think I packed this bowl too tight. We're closing in on an hour and a half, you guys. I know it just lit this pipe up, but I need to get back into the family pretty soon. I've also got what I call the hiccuburps. I'm trying to burp and hiccup at the same time. Desert Pine, I'll do that. Thank you. Thanks so much for the tip. AC/DC's got a new album coming out. I saw yesterday. I caught their new music video. And just had to laugh because it sounds like freaking AC/DC. And it's good to see them still out doing the stuff. Yeah, this Golden Days of Yore is almost like Christmas potpourri. Not bad. Angus is 65, yep. In the new music video, Chad, I don't know if you've seen it, but still rocking the schoolboy outfit. Night, one noggin. Well, I hope the reruns don't have buffering going on or missing parts of this video. I don't have much in the way of bourbon knowledge at all. Let me just say I don't have any bourbon knowledge. That'll cover it. I've been getting a little depressed lately that so many of my music heroes have passed away. Some I got to see live, some I didn't. Of course, I was bummed about Eddie Van Halen, but Tony Lewis from the outfield, when he passed away a couple, 3 weeks ago, that really hit me hard. Oh, I dropped my tamper. PA Piper, welcome. You're on the tail end of this one. Dixie Piper. Oh man. Trying to think of other people that have passed away recently. I probably blocked them out. Desert Pine, thanks for hanging with us. Have a good evening. Good night, Simplex. I think they're dropping like flies now, y'all. Maybe we should log off for the evening. I did not anticipate going this long. I was thinking I'd stream for an hour tonight. We're at an hour and 40 minutes, closing in on it. And since YouTube apparently is having issues, we might want to call it. Oh, wow. Yeah, if you're closing in on Beans 316's bar, you've been at work. Well, it seems that some people are having buffering issues and other people aren't. Cliff, have a good night, buddy. But yeah, I think we'll call it, you guys. Thank you, WKR Piper. It's been fun, and hopefully I'll be back on next Wednesday as well, around the same time, and we'll chat with you guys then. All right, have a good one. Good night, yo.